Hi, this is Em, and I had a really good question from someone on one of my videos asking, it was about laminating flowers, if you could laminate flowers with a clear background as opposed to how I showed in my laminating and contact video where I was putting protective covering over an arrangement that was on paper. And so I thought I'd go ahead and do a little video and we'll do some testing with different kinds of clear uh, protective coatings. And we're going to test hot laminate, cold laminate, contact paper, acetate, and we're going to do different configurations like laminate to acetate, cold laminate to acetate. We'll also do some packing tape. So if you're wondering about having a clear top and a clear bottom so that you can see through your arrangement, then please stay tuned, and I'm just going to use Buttercup for our tests, and let's get started. The first thing that we're going to test is cold laminate to cold laminate. And so I have these two pieces of cold laminate, and the first thing I'm going to do off camera so I can get it closer to me, this has the backing piece, and then this is the sticky side right here. So let's go ahead and undo that. And I'm going to put that right on top of the sticky side so I have something to hold on to. It won't stick to this backing, but we've got something to hold on to. I'm going to set down a flower right in the center. I'm not going to be gluing anything. I'm just going to set them down. Now I'm going to take this piece of laminate and take it off. So we have the sticky side exposed. This is in real time, so there won't be any editing, so however long it takes me to undo the sticky is however long it takes me. Now remember when I did contact paper in the laminating video before, I talked about static electricity and making a U. And so that's what we're going to do here. And I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to just leave that on for right now. I don't know if it makes a difference or not. And now, if this is successful and you're actually doing this, I would make my pieces a little bit bigger so that then you could cut it down or use a die machine to do it how you like. So I'm just going to slip that out. And that worked pretty good. So let's bring it up closer to the camera so that you can see the result. So hopefully, let me bring this up so that hopefully the camera will focus on. I want to show some shine because what we want to look at is see if there's any bubbling under there that would be annoying. That's one of the things I found that we might discover when we do packing tape. This, to me, looks pretty doggone good. I would say that cold laminate to cold laminate, at least this is really old. I've had this for years because I usually use hot laminate. But this is the laminate that I'm using. And then I'm going to rub it out. All right, so we'll put that aside as being successful. Now let's take a look at cold laminate to acetate. All right, so this is just not a super heavyweight acetate, probably just a reasonable. I don't remember the mil. I don't have it down here, but it's probably a 3 to 5 mil acetate. I would venture to guess. Don't quote me on that. So there's no sticky on the acetate. We're going to set that down. And then we'll take a cold laminate, because we're doing cold laminate to acetate. Same thing we used just a minute ago as far as the cold laminate. So we're going to put the cold laminate, the sticky side, on top of the acetate. If I can get here, okay, I finally got it off. All right. Again, we're going to make our U and start in the center. It actually attached itself, so that's fine. We'll just go ahead and tap that gently. And so I guess lesson learned, just put the flower on the sticky side and then go ahead and put it over the acetate. And again, rolling from the center out. Okay, that looked like that worked pretty good too. Let's take a look. Yeah, all right. So this was acetate to cold laminate. And what I like about the acetate, or the thickness of the cold laminate, was there is a little structure. It's not super stiff, but there is some structure to it, especially with the laminate. Let me feel the difference between the two. There's a lot more structure using the laminate, or excuse me, using the acetate background than there is using the cold laminate background. This is just flimsier, and this is a little bit more stout. So, but looks wise, they don't seem to be a whole lot different. You know, I suppose in thinking about it, I probably would have preferred to put the laminate on the top side of the flower, because we have the laminate on the bottom side of the flower. So play around. Okay, the next test we're going to do is, I'm saving the hot laminate while the iron's heating up. We're going to do contact paper to contact paper. So that'll be our next test. And I'm just using the same contact paper that I showed you in my laminate protective covering video. I'm using the Magic Cover. So let me get this off. Okay. How's your day going out there in YouTube land while I try to get this going? I love live videos because then I don't have to do any editing, and I actually would make more of them. But what I don't like is knowing that people are waiting for me to get this stuff off. Okay, so let's put our flour down. Now this is sticky, so once we put it down, it's going to stay. Okay, let's get the backing off of this one. Contact paper has a lot of static cling, but because this is already stuck down, we shouldn't have to worry about the petals lifting up, so that'll be a good thing. And remember that contact paper gives a little bit more of a satin finish, whereas acetate and hot laminate are going to give it more of a glossy finish. Okay, so here I got this undone. Remember our U, and now we'll go down and roll out. Smooth from the center out. Okay, this gives it more of a texture, but I don't mind the texture. It doesn't look like it's an annoying bubbling situation because the texture is uniform. Let me see if you can see what I mean. Okay. You see how it's got texture there? Kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Lacy's not the word, but I don't mind it. I would say that this is successful if you want a little bit of that kind of texture. Okay, then we're going to do, uh-oh, my packing tape just stuck to my clothing. I'll have to cut another piece. We're going to do acetate to contact paper. And I think we'll probably go ahead and stick the flour. Let's put the acetate on the top, which would be the opposite of what we did a minute ago for the other one where we put the acetate on the bottom. If I can ever get this off. All right. So here we go. Let's put the flour on. And now let's put use something that isn't sticky to get my finger off of there, which is what I should have done in the first place. Let's put our acetate down. Start from the center and smooth out. Okay, so we still have a little bit of that texture from the contact paper, but not as much as with two pieces of contact paper put together. So that is how shiny it is with the acetate on the front, and it's more sheeny with the contact paper. So it just depends on what look you're going for. So put your flower face up depending upon whether you want more sheen or whether you want more gloss. And now we're going to do hot laminate. I think the iron should be hot enough here. And so, excuse me if I bump the camera because I'm working I'm working around the camera. All right, so the first one we're going to do is acetate to acetate. And I have nothing glued down, so we're just going to go for it. Now, if you remember my acetate video, I'm going to put it between two pieces of paper because my acetate isn't cut. They're not both cut completely the same size, so there'll probably be something sticking, and I don't want it to stick to the iron. And then we'll just, instead of using a hot laminating machine, I'm just going to use the iron. This is a heat pad that I bought separately. It's 15 by 15. I think it's silicone. Okay, let's see if we're getting any results here. Well, well, that's not happy at all. So I don't know if it's me doing something wrong or I have the iron too hot. Let me turn the iron down a little bit. Let me bring that up and show you this, this sorry state of affairs. I'd say don't run out and buy a hot laminating machine or hot laminate just to do this. It looks like our other options are much better. Okay. This would be my last choice at this point. Let's try hot laminate to acetate. And what I'm curious about for this test is, will the acetate melt? That's what I'm curious about. All right, so we've got acetate on the bottom, hot laminate on the top. We're going to put it back on our paper. Put this paper on top. And now, let's just do a quick once over or twice over. Maybe I left it on for too long. Let's check it. Very strange. Well, it's not as bad as the other one was. Okay, let's do a little bit more. Well, this is much more successful. This was hot laminate to acetate, and the acetate did not melt. And I would say that maybe, yeah, it still buckles. The laminate part still buckles. Let me bring this up closer to the camera. The acetate part, the acetate, which is the back, it's fine. It didn't melt, and it's smooth. But this front with the hot laminate is just awful. So, thumbs down on the acetate. Now we're going to do acetate to packing tape, and I'm using, I would think a thicker packing tape. I've got 4 different varieties of packing tape, and I did a separate video on using packing tape to protect pressed flowers, although as I said at the beginning of the video, I put the packing tape on top of a paper background, and that works fine. But I did not try it on top of a clear background. So let's put our flower on, and then get a little piece of this packing tape. And then this is more than we need, but that gives us room for our fingers. And let's roll down real quick and smooth out. Oh, that worked pretty good. Okay, so that was, and it's stuck to the paper, so let me cut this out. See what I did with the scissors, so we can take a closer look. Okay, paper's still stuck on there. Let's get that off. All right, paper, come off. Did I do something wrong? Can't be this difficult. I must still be, oh, here. Okay, here we go. All right, that actually worked pretty good. What was that? That was packing tape, one of the thicker packing tapes, to acetate. And that gave it a shiny finish. So that was successful. Let's do packing tape to packing tape. Somewhere I had one already prepped, but I don't know where it went. So we're just going to end up doing another piece. Let's get a non-stick. For non-stick, you could probably use parchment paper or wax paper or the back of contact paper, anything that your tape won't stick to. Let's get another little piece and put a flower on. Okay, and bend and roll. Okay, cut. Take a closer look. And that worked pretty good. This has a little bit more bubbles. I don't know if you can see here down. Let's see. You can see the bubbles there in that light. All right, let's bring them all back up. I don't guarantee I remember what's what, but we'll take a look at them all. I know which one's the laminate. These are the laminate, which we don't like. Well, at least I don't. You might have a different opinion. I just dropped one down here on the floor. Excuse me for bumping the camera. All right, so there you are. So the answer is that all these do work, and see what you have laying around. You might have other things that I don't have, but certainly give it a try, because there's no reason that you can't have a clear background. And then when you adhere this to something, when you die cut it or you use your scissors or however you want to make your shape, use something round, then when you put it on your different backgrounds, you can have something pretty. And then you have variety. You don't have to decide at the time that you make it what you want to have for the background. So thank you for the question, and I will put a link to that video that prompted the question, and that case you were interested in seeing that. Thanks for tuning in, and you have a wonderful day.